Have you been naughty or nice?
It's the Hake Report, the Hake Report. La, la, la. It's the Hake Report, the Hake Report. La, la, la.
Hey guys!
It's the Hake Report, the Hake Report. La, la, la. It's the Hake Report, the Hake Report. La, la, la.
So, what's up, guys? It's Wednesday, December 18th, 2019, and the House is voting to impeach the president, so-called. Silly. So, let's just ignore that because it's irrelevant, basically, right? I wanted to present to you some funny stuff. By the way, this is hour 4 of Jesse Lee Peterson's stream. Thank you, Jesse. Thank you to everybody on dlive.tv/Jesse Lee Peterson, youtube.com/Jesse Lee Peterson 1, mixer.com/JLP Talk, and of course, Periscope. What's up, Howie? James, where are you? Oh, Howie's still going on about this. Corinthians 15, 1-4 is the only way to be born again. And yet he thinks that he doesn't have to forgive anybody. Interesting, Howie. You should call in sometime if you can. Call into the Jesse Lee Peterson show. That would be best. But you can also call into my show. And by the way, I am wearing my Hake t-shirt, the Hake Report t-shirt. It took me forever, but I do have a Teespring store, or Hake does have a Teespring store, the Hake Report, teespring.com/stores/the Hake Report. And on there, I have like one version of this t-shirt with this Hake logo. That's by a guy named Mike, whom I have not seen in a while. Mike, how's it going? I don't know if you're listening still. He's, anyways, good guy though. Appreciate the logo. He made the logo and it said with Joel and Esteban, but I had to slightly adjust the logo so it didn't say with Joel and Esteban. But yeah, it's available both just with the logo in the front or the logo in the front and on the back it says la la la. There I sang. And then I will get to your calls. You guys are filling up these lines. You know what? Rufus, don't call me about that, Rufus from Kansas. I guess I'll take your call, but anyway, I'll get to your guys' calls or your calls. But let me just quickly just cover this Chinese anchor baby thing, and then you know what? Hang on, callers. I will get to you, but let me cover this stupid, crazy women's fraternity thing, the Wing. I gave Joel a bunch of pics. I think he showed some of them. This stupid fraternity, I saw this in Drudge. I'm back to reading Drudge. Many of you may not have even noticed, but I took a week, actually almost a week and a half, of not even looking at Drudge really, and not bringing it. Yeah, I mean, you can, Howie, he's like, the only reason I keep on it is because it's the most important decision of one's life. But you think that you don't have to forgive. Anyways, it's just intellectual stuff until we're living it, right? Women furious, this is from Drudge, women furious that men keep showing up to this female club. And it was a New York Post article. They interviewed a bunch of people on it. And it's this place called The Wing. You can show screenshots from the website, Joel. This is The Wing's website. The Wing I don't know what it's called. I don't know what it is even. The-wing.com. If you want a good look at hell dressed in a dress, then have a look at this site. It's a networking so-called community that was supposed to be a sanctuary for women, right? And I talked about how it's basically they have a bunch of spaces where women can go and network and work and all kinds of mess. shower. There's on this website is a picture of that fat woman with the wild hair, who ran for governor or something in either Florida or Georgia or something. Oprah went and plugged her. Stacey Abram. Yeah, thank you, Joel. Joel will never forget that name. No, I'm kidding. But it costs, this little club thing costs anywhere from $185 to $250 a month in the U.S. to join. They feature speakers sometimes like Representative Alexandria Cortez. There's this team. Looks like some blacks, some whites, maybe an Asian, I can't tell. Maybe a Jewish woman. Don't know. But hell, now they're complaining that there's usually at least one man whenever I visit, says Caitlin Phillips, age 29, who's been there 2 years. And she's all, it's bizarre, referring to the man's decision to choose to occupy a space women specifically wanted for themselves. Remember when, way back, all these women were invading the country clubs and fraternities that men had started? I remember it. I remember there were these dumb old feminists who would protest and attack men and men's groups. And now that the women have their little club, there's males who go and show up at this place. Sometimes they're like, I'll get into what type of men they are, according to the women, right? The problem, multiple members complain, is that the men physically take up too much space with their bigger bodies and belongings. They hog up the phone booths. They aren't respectful to some of the rules, ignoring the 4-hour cap on guest visits and bringing in outside food. And they're in the guest bathrooms, not the women's. All they ever do, I'm thinking like all these women do is complain, be miserable. Now they know how it is after they invaded the men's fraternities. Another complains, just show like general, I don't know if you can go through I don't know if you went through all the photographs, but look at this, like women in hijabs, blue-haired feminists. Ugh. Some of them are like pretty, but most of them are, you know that they're ugly on the inside. Bunch of liberals. And they're promoting, what's her name? What was her name? The one that attacked Clarence Thomas. The only good Supreme Court justice, Anita Hill, the disgraced false accuser. Their website and their magazine is called No Man's Land. So I don't know why a man would go. But they're annoyed. One Caitlin White, 31-year-old West Hollywood member, says, it's just annoying when she sees at least one man in the space each day. Why do men need to be there? Why can't they respect the spirit of the place? Men have to have everything. Maybe make it one day a week that men are allowed? There has to be a legal way to work this out that still respects the space. Women from San Francisco complain it's really bad, like filled with tech bros. I usually see 5 men come in throughout the day, says 31-year-old San Francisco member who wants to be anonymous. I think it's members bringing in men for investor meetings. Here, everyone is venture capital. The men still hold the money and the power. She wants the women to have the money and power. These women are trying to fund their businesses. When she first joined, she made the mistake of bringing a man, and she got, her cis male boss. Cis means not transgender. Male boss for a meeting. Something she now regrets. I'll never do it again. He doesn't respect the space. Acting like we're in a coffee shop or something. I was getting looks from other members, and now she's returning the evil for evil. In New York, she glares at the men, and she says, I glare at the men and I glare at the members who bring them. This anonymous New Yorker member. There was a lack of official paperwork with this little club place, this little club thing where they have all these different spaces throughout the world, actually, or at least the country. Big cities like New York and LA. So it got the attention of New York City's Commission on Human Rights, which is a communist place. They shouldn't have a human rights commission. In 2018, they opened up an investigation into this company. The wing has a membership of more than 11,000 women worldwide, according to reps, meaning it couldn't pass as a social club and therefore can't discriminate based on gender. So stupid. You have the right to discriminate. Even the wing has the right to discriminate. A 53-year-old man earlier this year claimed gender discrimination, though, and sued. And that led the wing to formally adopt a membership policy. Listen to this membership policy. The wing is a space designed for women with a women's focused mission. Members and guests are welcome regardless of their perceived gender or gender identity. So you know they're liberals. Recognizing that gender identity is not always consistent with someone's sex assigned at birth. We do not ask members or guests to self-identify. So that's dumb. All that to say, like I said in the Hake News in the third hour, real women's forum, actual women's forum, with only one man, Jesse Lee Peterson leads these women's forums. And they're excellent, I hear. If the men's forums are any indication, which are once a month, women's forums, third Thursday of the month. This is the last one of the year. Ladies, make sure you check it out. Open to all women of goodwill, if there is such a thing. No, I'm playing. So let me get to some calls. Rufus out of Kansas. I kind of called you out. Rufus, what's up?
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, I wanted to call and just commend you. I did have a complaint, but that's not your department, I understand.
Right, yeah.
But that's okay. I did want to commend you on your progression. I've seen that you've become more confident, being in front of the camera and talking. And, just want to ask, how long has it been since you were Jesse's producer and having your own show?
I became Jesse's producer in October of 2013. And at that point, his PR guy was actually still producing the show. I was kind of helping feed him stories and clips and things like that. Well, actually stories and guest ideas. And then in probably 2018 or so, I forget exactly when, I was replaced by Daniel, who served a while as producer. And then there might have been another person. But I think Daniel, for sure, was producer for a while. He like, greatly improved the channel, the thumbnails, the output. And then he had to go move on, do his own thing. And then now Nick. So it was around 2017 that I started hosting along with Joel and Esteban. So about 5 years.
What happened to Esteban? I remember him, but I don't see him anymore.
Esteban is now doing work in the thing that he was trained in when he first moved over here. He started working in kind of contracting type work, handyman, contracting, HVAC, engineering,
Cool.
building engineering. So he's doing that stuff right now. He still helps out with church and stuff, but he was never really a regular throughout the week. But he still comes on Sundays, helps out with church, volunteers. So, yeah, he's still around.
So, just one final thing, I just want to know, what do you have coming down the pipe? I mean, are you going to do longer shows at some point? Are you going to do an independent show? Is your content going to be varied, or what's upcoming?
I'm thinking with this move, I'll kind of see how it goes. I do have in mind to go to a 2-hour show. And I've toyed around with the idea. Some people suggested that I don't need to be doing the Sunday show, although I've been doing it. It's something that people look forward to. So it's kind of fun to have it. I've thought about about bringing in like more Discord use as opposed to just the phones. But I don't know. Your guess is almost as good as mine.
Well, I know it's a good platform, and it gives you exposure, and it helps you grow your brand and hone your craft. And I commend you and Jesse. I wish there were opportunities, like that around here. I'm trying to grow some things where I'm at, and I don't have a platform like you do. I'm not jealous, but, I'm just hopeful that something, can come about for me like that.
Right on, man. Well, good luck to you as well. I'll hear from you again.
Hey, thank you, sir.
All right. Take care.
All right. Bye.
Let me let me get to Ryan out of Florida. Ryan, what's up?
Hey, what's going on, Hake?
Not much, man.
So, last time I talked to you, I hadn't forgiven my mom,
You had not?
and I did. No, sir.
Okay. Wow. That's
And,
nice.
I did. I did. I forgave her. It was funny. She just kind of laughed and like didn't know what I was talking about. She
Right.
tried to blame my dad.
That's funny.
Yeah, and I'm kind of struggling though. I need to forgive my father. I guess I just need to overcome it.
Overcome what?
My resentment to him.
Okay. Yeah.
And, I mean, he doesn't believe in God. You know, he is one of those boomers that got all into Star Trek and he's all into sci-fi and stuff. He's like a nerd, but like, you know, he's like a 6'3", huge angry man nerd.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you know, good luck. Are you aware that Jesse Lee Peterson offers counseling through Bond?
Yeah,
Okay.
I need to set something up. And I was also curious if you had ever been to Israel.
I have not.
Yeah, because I know a lot of the people that are Jew blamers and haters, they always say that Israel sets up trips for people to go there, and I don't think that they're aware that it's probably majority Christians that set people up to go on those trips. Like, they always say that, you know, they make the Congress people and everybody go to Israel so, you know, they can do whatever. I just wanted to say that to all the Jew blamers that a lot of it's the Christians. Would you agree with that?
As far as I know, yeah, there are a lot of, you know, most Christians, period, at least in the older generations, are raised to support Israel and like Jews generally. And so they go to Israel to see like where Jesus did his miracles, where he was crucified, different things, where he was baptized and things like that. And I'm sure that they work with Jews that are, you know, over there. But whatever. Yeah, I don't know much about what it is, but people have gone and they can see kind of the layout for themselves, regardless of how the trip itself is orchestrated. If you're just looking around, I've heard Jesse Lee Peterson make statements about. He compared how it is where the Jews are living and how it is where the Muslims are living, and the Muslims are basically like it's like the ghetto, and it reminds him of how the whites live versus how the blacks live. Both the whites and the blacks have their problems, but the blacks are just more ghetto.
Right.
So, yeah.
Well, right on, man. That's all I wanted to say. Thanks for taking my call, Hake.
I appreciate it, Ryan. Thank you, man.
Good job. Yeah, you're doing a good job, man.
Cool. All right. Take care.
Bye.
So, the other thing about the other parallel between the blacks and whites versus the Muslims and Jews, or the Palestinians and Israel, is that Jesse Lee Peterson said, is that the Muslims are always blaming the Jews and complaining and saying, oh, I can't move up in life because of the Jews. But they're not really taking self-responsibility, according to what he saw. So, just an interesting side note. Let me get quickly to Substitute Mays out of Virginia. Substitute Mays, who is this? How are you?
Now, James, you sitting up there saying that you got the right to discriminate as a Christian? Now you sitting there as a Christian saying y'all could. I guess that's the reason why we got sundown town laws and all that stuff. So I'm thinking that you're going to sit there and you're going to say that. I don't think you're a Christian. But you said you won't. But y'all supposed to sit here and have discernment? I don't think that's discernment. I think you're just judging people. Now, I want to turn around and say the thing about Joel.
But
and what he said about that bank thing.
But hold on, Mays. Christians are supposed to judge and discriminate.
Y'all ain't supposed to judge. Y'all say y'all supposed to discern. That's what Jesus say.
Are you a Christian, Maze?
Well,
Substitute Maze?
I'm gonna leave that up to God to decide. That's me. That's between me and Jesus. Another thing is
what
when
did you want to
Joel
say
said-
about Joel?
Joel turned around and judged that boy that stole that money from that bank. Now, he said he looked like the type of guy to do that. So what if Joel was sitting across the thing from Jesse? Jesse said the same thing. He's like, I'm sorry, I can't hire you because I want to hire Caucasian instead because I trust them less. I trust them more. So I'm just trying to have him to think about some stuff because if he won't get hired by Jesse, I don't know what he would be doing with the time. So you just got to sit there and have your examinations and stuff. Another thing is...
But she laughed. But Joel uses brain power, and he presents himself
boy
well,
got
and he's
hired.
doing it. He's making money the right way.
But the boy got hired for a reason. He didn't have a criminal record. So you're just going to sit there and judge him for that.
I don't know.
He said it came up clean. I'm sure he had to have a clean criminal record to work there. So I don't say. So if he was a Caucasian and he had a criminal record, I'm pretty sure he'd get hired instead. But another thing I got to go to.
All right.
Another thing I got to go to is the boy that was drunk and he was eating that stuff in that store. The police officer commissioner said that it wasn't a good enough apology. But I bet if it was a Caucasian apologizing, just like them college admission scandal thing, they wouldn't have locked him up for nothing.
Always bringing up the whites whenever the blacks do anything wrong.
Well, the Caucasians, like y'all, would compare to black people because it's a college admission. And then another thing is that y'all had something to say about calling Kaepernick sitting and kneeling and stuff like that for the thing. But then y'all ain't had nothing to say about the people in uniform doing them circle things with the white power signal.
Yeah. They should be.
Why they in uniform?
They should be criticized.
Don't you say they supposed to protest off the clock.
Black power is worse than white power.
Excuse me?
I said black power is worse than white power.
What you mean?
They're both
it's
wrong,
worse
I
than
guess.
white? See, there you go judging again as a Christian.
Yep.
And then it's a shame. That's the reason I don't tell nobody if I'm a Christian or not because it's between me and God. If I have issues, I'm going to just tell him myself.
Whatever, Maze.
But that's all I have to say. You have a good one.
I appreciate it. You have a good day, Hot Computer Smell. Maze. From Virginia. All right, bye.
All right.
I heard her normal voice. She's like, all right. That's impressive, Hot Computer Smell. I don't know if I should be doxing Hot Computer Smell as the substitute Maze. So Maze, hopefully you were listening and you caught that. Pretty good impression. Maybe she's laughing. I don't know. Maze is spelled M-A-Z-E. No I. All right. I'm going to get to some more calls to see you guys holding. Please hang on. But I just want to point out, I saw these photographs from this Chinese anchor baby scam. And I have just a picture of their advertisements. This lady was basically only got a slap on the wrist, not risk. Show the HN whatever Hake News pick from where there's two different advertisements. One has like a guy like imitating a guy and a girl, pregnant girl, imitating the statue of the sailor kissing the nurse or whatever it was. And by the way, that sailor just died or the nurse just did. I forget. Maybe they both did now. But basically you see a Chinese man with a Chinese woman trying to imitate that, where this sailor swoops the girl down and kisses her. And it's like a famous photograph. They turned it into a statue, and he's imitating it. And then this is this You Win USA or whatever Chinese scam, where the Chinese people can pay $40,000 to $80,000 to come stay for 3 months, have their baby in America, pretend that it's an American baby, because under the 14th Amendment, the people pretend that meant that anybody born here is a citizen. It's not true, but everybody pretends it's true, so they end up being allowed to be here as though they're citizens, and they're called citizens. And then there's another shot with a couple with their baby in a stroller in like an airport. And in the background, you see this woman getting walked away, but she got arrested, I think maybe in January or February, and she was let out of prison. I think she was let out of prison on Monday or this coming Monday. It's kind of unclear. And just basically a slap on the wrist, even though there were 7 documented cases with her bringing people in, but it was a scam where thousands, I think, hundred, if not at least hundreds, of people came in here illegally. And it's not just the Chinese doing it. The Chinese are some of the worst offenders at this mess. But the Russians are doing it in Florida, according to Fox News. And it's bad. And they're not getting properly punished because it's these innocent-looking Chinese ladies doing it. And then there's men involved, too, of course. What a scam. Gross. So hopefully I'm going to get to this Georgia church. Kissing up to the poor. You know, I don't know. I think that these liberal churches, have this false idea about helping the poor and stuff like that. That they think that they're... Show this headline. Just want to briefly touch on it. They think that they're helping the poor. They pay $10,000 in Walmart layaway in time for Christmas. And you see this black pastor hugging this black woman whose 28-year-old son died and left 3 kids behind or something like that. So Wanda McCreary hugs Cascade United Methodist Church senior pastor Kevin Muriel after his church paid $10,000 worth of items in layaway at an Atlanta area Walmart. McCreary's 28-year-old son died in April, and he left behind 3 kids. She said it meant a lot to her. That was a photograph from Doug Simmons' Dream Images Productions. I don't know. But it seems like it reminds me of Jesse's biblical question, actually, where these whites and liberals and everybody else do stuff so-called helping the poor, and they're just basically assuaging their guilt because they actually don't stand for what's right or live what's right. And they ignore, you know, you see it with all these liberal pastors, far left pastors, actually. And Jesse Lee Peterson has interviewed some of them. Some of them I brought on the show when I was producer. I'm blanking on some of the names, but you could see it. There's a playlist on Jesse Lee Peterson's YouTube channel called Preachers in the Pulpit, which was every Monday in the second hour, Jesse Lee Peterson used to interview pastors. Sometimes he would interview pastors multiple times in a week. He interviewed like 400 pastors before Obama was elected, and most of them supported Obama, black pastors. But he's interviewed all black and white pastors, including ones that supported Obama and disgusting people, and pretended that they only support what Jesus said, and Jesus never said anything about homosexuality. And so they don't stand up for what's right. They don't live right. They're just liberals, and they pretend that socialism is what Jesus wanted, taking away from the rich, so-called rich, and giving to the so-called poor, of which there actually are none in the United States. So it's lame. It's just more liberal stuff, like I said. So let me quickly... I'm not clear on what Dex wants. I can't read it. Let me get to Ryan out of Indiana. Ryan, first-time caller. What's up?
Hey, can you hear me good?
I can hear you well.
Outstanding. Hey, I've never called you before, but I called yesterday. I just wanted the people in the audience to hear this. Because the news is really trying to cover it up.
Stay close to your phone, Ryan.
Hey, I'm talking. Is it
okay.
Good?
Yeah, much better.
Okay, thank you. There's a new iPhone, too. I'm having trouble with it.
iPhones are like that, I think. Anyways.
I'm going to return it. Hey, so we all know that there's one party that's really pushing abortion.
Yeah.
And it's the Democrats. And there's a reason why. It's not for the woman to have a right to choose to kill another life. It's about money. Those babies that are aborted are worth tons of money when they're pieced and parted out and sold.
Ryan, your phone is awful.
The older the baby is, it's worth way more money. I mean, we're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars for just certain parts of the baby.
Yeah.
And that's why Governor Northam or whatever from Virginia, he's like, yeah, if the mother has the baby, it comes out, it's alive, it's well. We're going to just give it some comfort there, and then we can go ahead and kill it. It's all in the money. Guess where it goes to? I'll give you again.
Ryan, your phone is too bad. I gotta hang up, but I appreciate the information. It's true. They are really awful. Like and he makes a good point too. There is a lot of money in harvesting body parts. And you're annoying today and lying, says Blaze Z. What am I lying about, Blaze Z? Yeah, it's really awful. And that's the same type of thing that these liberal Christians that give all this money to, they still support the Democrats who support this type of abortion crap. Baby killing. So, let me get to Dex. Dex, out of Texas, first-time caller. What's up?
Hey, James. How you doing?
Fine. Nice to hear from you.
First thing I want to say is I don't see how you understood anything that one woman was saying. She was talking so fast.
You're talking about imitation Maze?
Yeah, I couldn't. I was trying my hardest to understand one word she was saying.
Right.
But
yep.
Anyway, I've called Jesse before, but I wanted to see what you say. I was going to tell you on the situation, but
Dex, stay close to your phone. Don't move around.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So this past Sunday, I found out, my wife's pregnant, right?
Congratulations, I guess.
Well, it's not mine.
Oh, I was about to ask. I actually had the question in my mind. I'm babbling.
It's not mine. I found out that this past September, she had a little one-night stand after a knockout drag-out fight we had. So she did it in anger, ended up getting pregnant. But I told her, I forgave her. I'll stick with you. I'll help you through this. I told her I would like to put the kid up for adoption and let him have a better chance of life. But, a better life. But she doesn't want to. So I'm wondering, do you think that's like a beta move on my part for sticking with that, or should I say, no, look, we're done? You think that's a beta move?
I don't know, maybe. Yeah, you need to call Jesse for counseling, man.
All right, because I don't know. I'll call Jesse, but I just want to see what you would say, because I know, But.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I wouldn't. That child belongs with. Is the father married?
I don't know.
Oh, you don't even know who the father is?
I don't even know who the father is. I don't know. It's a big old mess. But
well, congratulations.
I'm trying to. Yeah. But I'm trying to have I'm trying to be more, because I used to be very unforgiving, holding on to anger, and now I'm trying to be more forgiving, showing unconditional love like we're supposed to. And
I don't know if you need to. I don't know if you need to try to do that, because people who try to do that go overboard.
Yeah, go with unconditional love.
Yeah, I wouldn't use that word. People use that word thinking that people use that word wrong. Yeah, I don't like that word, unconditional love.
Okay.
Yeah. That's
I tried calling.
That's an intellectual. That's an intellectual word meant to trick people into going along with evil.
Yeah.
Meant to trick people like Howie Manley into thinking that they don't need to forgive.
Yeah. Which I forgave her. I mean, I told her when she first told me, I said, "Oh, I forgive you. No, it'll be all right." I didn't want to hold on to it. I didn't want to get angry.
I mean, I don't know, but the Bible seems to indicate, like Jesus seemed to indicate that that's a reason for possible divorce. I mean, just even adultery, let alone having a kid.
Adultery, yeah.
I don't know if it is or not. It's kind of unclear to me, but whatever. I would say talk to Jesse, and then also, are you doing the prayer thing that Jesse recommends?
I do it. I don't. I'm not consistent with it. I mean, last time I did it, I fell asleep.
You know what Jesse's gonna tell you, right?
Beta meal.
No, he's gonna tell you suffer.
Yeah, suffer. Yeah.
Because you can't be asking Jesse or me or anybody for advice if you're not. I mean, that's praying. It seems to be like kind of almost asking God for advice, even if you're not even asking. If you're just being quiet, but if you're not doing that, then you don't know for yourself. You're gonna be kind of tossed and beaten around by whatever waves of convincing that you get from other people and your feelings and stuff. Doesn't that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, I've been talking to my father-in-law, and he's what do you call it? He's a missionary, right? Yeah, missionary.
Of course.
Yeah,
interesting.
He's real big into. He's a Baptist missionary. Him and my mother-in-law. So I've been talking with him, and and he told me, that's how I got the unconditional love. He's like, that's something hard for people to swallow.
No, man.
So.
Hey, man. I've met some missionary kids, and knowing them, I'm not surprised about this story.
Yeah.
Because they're a little wild. It's kind of like pastors' kids sometimes. So do your thing, but make sure that you should be committed to the first thing, which is like when the Bible says, seek first the kingdom of God. If you're not doing that, if you're not consistent with praying and stuff like that, then it's no wonder that you're in a state of confusion.
Which, I mean, I don't really do the silent prayer, but I mean, I do talk to God, throughout the, just.
Don't we all think we do?
Yeah. But
I don't know, man. But I appreciate it, Dex.
I wanted to call Jesse, but.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, I wanted to talk to you too.
He has, he offers private counseling. It doesn't have to be on the radio. You don't have to wait on hold necessarily. You can call in. It's quite affordable. There is a fee, but it's affordable. And you can call the bond office right now if you want. It's where our office hours are 9 to 4, which would be Pacific time, which would be 11 to 6. Right? I think your time.
Oh, I didn't know he did that.
Those are the office hours to call in, and you can schedule it from there. So, and it's phone counseling if you want. I think they offer Skype counseling or in person, so you don't have to come in to LA to do it.
Okay. I thought it was just like call into his radio show or come to LA.
No, man, you can do it over the phone in a private, pre-scheduled meeting or consultation.
And I'll talk to Jesse personally?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I highly recommend it, and it's way better than calling Hake about this type of issue.
I didn't. I mean, I've watched stuff a couple times. But I didn't really know what kind of issue you really cover. I guess
no, I mean, I would be happy to help if I could, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I appreciate you, Dex.
I don't know.
How old are you, man?
30.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, good luck to you, and if you want to call back and let me know how it goes, I would. Yeah. I'm interested. It's juicy.
Yeah. We'll see how it goes. I'm just taking it one day at a time. I'm just trying to keep a calm head and calm head with it.
Good for you, man. All right, Dex. Take care and good luck.
All right.
Oh, you know the office number, right?
Yeah, I got the well, it should be on on Jesse's thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's on our website.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I got his website on my phone.
Okay, cool. Take care, Dex. All right.
All right.
Oh, you know what? I have to get to this call. I have to get to this call. Maze, I think, out of Dayton, Ohio, not Virginia. Maze, how are you?
I have a twin sister that lives in Virginia. Her name is Grace.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Hot computer smell. Is your real name Grace? Did Maze just dox you?
No, my name is Maze. Her name is Grace.
Right.
And we're identical.
Nice. And does she talk like you?
Yes.
Nice.
Maybe that's why people were looking at her crazy, and they looking at her like, I heard you on the radio. And she looking at them like, what?
Do you call other shows other than Jesse Lee Peterson's and mine?
Excuse me?
Do you call other radio shows as well?
I've been on radio longer than you and Jesse, probably.
Nice. Wow, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like who?
Pat Buchanan
Nice. Pat Buchanan.
and that rat in Ohio, what's his name? That had a TV show.
Cunningham.
Cunningham.
Bill Cunningham.
Yes.
That was the
And
man
I talked to
who
a
was
person named
interviewing.
Mike Santos.
Huh?
Mike Santos.
Mike Santos. All right.
Yes.
Tom Joyner.
No, I didn't have to talk to Tom Joyner.
Good.
I talked to those that need some brain power.
Yeah. Bill Cunningham is the guy whose show Jesse Lee Peterson was on in his interview when he got kicked out of his gym for being a Trump
Bill
supporter.
Cunningham.
Yep.
Really? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, but I don't talk to just hear myself talk. I talk to try to help those Christian people that say they're Christians and they don't show it at all.
Every woman's trying
Yeah,
to
too
help
much
the
heathen in
man.
it. And like Lockwood.
Lockwood, Bill Lockwood.
They're heathens. They
Heathens.
don't know it. Somebody got to tell them yes. See,
I don't know.
Lockwood get a thrill when I call him a heathen because that's what he really is.
Who would?
Lockwood.
Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Bill Lockwood handles you pretty well.
Yeah, right. That's what you say. That's your opinion.
Yeah.
So I was just calling to tell you. And she was cracking up when I let her hear.
Right. Oh, did you call your sister too?
Excuse me?
You called your
Yes.
sister?
Yes.
Nice. How did you like Hot Computer Smells impression?
It was just funny.
Yeah.
But I really want you to get the impression of cleaning your heart out and understanding people so you won't have to be trying to harm them.
Very good advice, Maze. Thank you.
That's my advice to the ones that's messed up in the heat.
Do you take your own advice?
I'm not trying to harm anybody. And I'm not upset with anybody just because you don't like the way things are going.
How about do you like the way that people talk and then you get upset with them for how
I
they
have an
talk?
opinion. Do I ever sound upset to you?
I don't know.
My opinion is just as good as yours. Just like black people opinion, just as good as Caucasian opinion.
Yeah.
Which I don't think so. That's something y'all got to learn, just to share.
There's the type of
And I
people
think you're
that
supposed to hog
there's the
everything
type of
and
people
run
that act
everything
like they're not
what to
upset.
do.
They just like to make other people upset.
What?
There's the type of people that act like they're not upset, but they like to make other people upset. You ever
Oh,
do?
really?
You ever do
Well,
that?
you don't get upset. You don't get upset if it's true. And if you're doing those things, you should just go and stop doing it.
Some
That's
people
the way
get
I
upset over lies. People get upset
Really?
over truth and lies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's for
And
sure.
the conversation Jesse had about women with nappy hair, and we got all types of hair. We have curl links to our hair,
Uh-huh.
and we don't have to put perms in it. I mean,
bragging?
Caucasian put perms in it. Y'all put perms in your hair, too, just like the women do.
No, I don't.
You don't. Some of you do. Just like y'all wear weaves, just like the women do.
None of me does.
Well, we look at Donald Trump, he does. But anyway, and then we look at the other guy with the little toupee on his head.
Yeah.
See, y'all see things through somebody telling you. You don't see it with your own eyes and observe what you see. You always repeat what somebody else had to say.
How do you know? You're not a mind reader.
If you've heard it 3 or 4 times, like Sean Hannity sit on that TV show every night, spreading that venom, and then people carry it along.
Do you listen every night to Sean Hannity?
Excuse me? Is something wrong with me listening?
No, I'm just asking if you do.
I listen sometimes when I can take it.
When you can take the venom?
Yes.
All right. Appreciate it, Mace. Very
Sometimes
interesting
you have to take
insight.
the venom or even go out and see for yourself, because if you never touch things, you don't understand it. But if you touch it and you understand it, you'll see it in a different light.
Do you have
And
anything to
if somebody told you if somebody told you the fire would burn and you never put your hand in the fire, how do you know it would burn? Just because somebody next door to you told you it would
If
burn?
you get close to it, it's hot enough and you're going to believe that you, oh, yeah, that's probably
Excuse me?
burned me.
No, until you feel the fire burn you. That's the only way you're going to know.
Not
When
true.
It comes to black people and people that never been around black people, never had to associate with black people, will never understand them.
We can see from afar plenty
That's their
well.
experience. That's right, from afar.
Mace.
So we don't understand you from afar. We understand you from communicating with you and doing things with you. And things
No,
like that.
you.
Y'all haven't got to that point.
You're the one. I'm not going to let go of this one. You're not going to live down accusing Bible go-to guy of having spit on blacks because he's old enough to have done it.
What did you say? Cleveland Bible. I said he probably spit on black back
Yeah,
in the days.
what the-
Well, did you think that was a good thing when they were spitting on black people?
Yes,
I'm quite sure you do.
because that's such a ridiculous
Just because
question.
somebody spit on you, don't mean you're supposed to turn around and spit back on them.
Yeah.
Do you? That's what you want to put a tit for tat.
I don't know what I should say. You probably did, but
That's
for
not
you to
right.
say the Bible go-to guy
There's a lot of
probably
things that I could have done.
probably spit on people. That's crazy, Maze.
You feel me?
That is so evil.
Because what you see when you see people do something to the people that's not nice, you shouldn't turn around and try to do it again just because they did it.
Then how come you're not nice to Baba Gochu guy?
You should bring them to an understanding is that you did something wrong. Improve yourself and stop keep doing it. And don't keep doing it.
Yeah,
and
so don't keep saying that white men probably spit on people just because you saw some white guy spitting on somebody way back when. Maybe.
You said it was nothing bad. And you're supposed to be a Christian.
Nowadays, anyways, I got to go, Maze.
Okay,
you have anything to say to Joel?
What?
You have anything to say to Joel?
No, I don't. Except he's lost. He's in the forest. He got to find himself through the trees and find himself way back home too.
Thanks for the brain power,
You don't have
Maze.
to change who you are to be what you want to be for somebody else's.
All right, Maze, I got to go. I'm gonna get yelled at by the people in Santa Cruz. You know what? Let me get to Tony out of Florida. Tony, what's up?
How you doing, James?
Doing fine. Nice to hear from you.
Had a quick question for you because I was unsure of your position. I wanted to know if you were pro-death penalty.
Definitely, I am pro-death penalty.
And where do you limit that position? Like, would you be pro-death penalty for rape? Would you be pro-death
That's a good
penalty
question.
for armed robbery? Or how do you...
Way back when it was more consequential to be robbed, they did death penalty people for robbery.
Yeah.
Nowadays, it's people are so rich, even the poor are rich. It's like hardly consequential to get robbed. I mean, yes, it is a pain, but I don't know. So my death penalty is mainly for what I would recommend death penalty for is murder, like cold-blooded murder. And I don't know if there's any murders that shouldn't require the death penalty. But for sure, I mean, it has to be, it's without a reasonable doubt, without any doubt where we saw him do it. For example, the guy that shot up the Aurora, Colorado, the guy who had Joker-looking hair almost, but it wasn't Joker-inspired, supposedly, the Batman shooting. There's no question that it was him, right? So I think he should get the death penalty. I had a little argument with Jesse where Dylan Roof I thought he should get the death penalty. But then I saw that the only reason they're giving him the death penalty is for the so-called civil rights thing, because it was a so-called hate crime. That I don't agree with that part. So I do understand where there's misguided intentions behind the death penalty, and the law is so corrupt now. The laws are so corrupt. They believe in hate crimes. They believe in anti-discrimination laws and stupid stuff like that. But generally, I do support the death penalty for murder. And then rape, I don't know. There's a guy whom I respect called Brother Dean Saxton, who said that the rapist should get the death penalty. And he also says that you deserve rape if you're dressing like you are asking to be raped. You kind of are asking for it. That's in that sense you deserve it. You're getting what you are basically. You're walking into a trap on purpose. But I don't know. I don't have a solid opinion on those.
I've never heard. That sounds pretty extreme.
What?
But, are you familiar with the Clary
What sounds
Act?
extreme?
The guy who was saying, blame the girl for wearing the short skirt, basically.
Oh no, I mean that's common sense.
Well, you could say it may not be appropriate, but if you're a girl walking down the street in a short skirt, that's not an excuse. That's not an excuse to rape and kill.
He didn't say rape. He didn't say it's an excuse. He said they're asking for it. They deserve it.
I would strongly disagree with that. I would say it's not smart to wear a short skirt.
Right, they're asking for it because
I don't think you're asking to be raped. You're asking for attention. You're asking for negative attention.
Right.
You're going to draw in evil predators for sure.
Yeah. So they're getting what they deserve by doing that.
Well, we'll agree to disagree on that one. But I wanted to hear your opinion on this particular case.
Okay.
It was in a 1986 case that resulted in the Clary Act, which passed in the early 2000s.
Speak up for me.
It was a case of a black student in a Pennsylvania university who was admitted via affirmative action and was running for president of the Black Student Union. He lost the election, was upset over it. He went out drinking that evening. And later on, after drinking, he went to go rape and murder a white student on campus. They found out it was him, convicted him, sentenced him to death. But as we got more liberal with the death penalty, eventually it was overturned in the higher courts.
Right.
They never killed him. But because of that, what happened was they passed an act called the Clary Act, which was named after the victim, which requires any university that receives federal funding to write up reports of crime on their campus. So I'm wondering if you ever heard of that case and what your thoughts are.
I had not heard of it. I'll have to look into it.
Okay, you should look into it because it's very relative to what happened to that girl Tessa Majors, because campus violence, and that's how it came up, and sparking the death penalty, and that's kind of how I heard of it.
Are you the one who told me that it's definitely not true that she was looking for pot?
Yeah, that's me. That's definitely
okay.
Not true. At least there's no proof of that. What it is speculation from whomever, because one of the killers was supposedly a big pothead. So they're saying, well, she might have smoked weed and he smoked weed, so maybe that's why they met. It's all speculation to smear her. That's really what's happening.
Well, I don't agree that it's to smear her, because they the way that it came up was a police, at least the way that it went public and got backlash from Bill de Blasio and her family, is the police union head, or whatever, police fraternal organization head, went on this radio show about increasing crime in New York City. It's slipping back into the crime that has plagued it in the 90s and stuff and prior. And it's basically a reference to this broken windows policing thing. At one point, they had broken windows policing where they would stop and frisk. They would deal with small petty crimes such as marijuana dealing, right? Marijuana is illegal, but they look the other way. If they say this was a marijuana deal, if they had caught this marijuana dealer in advance with this stop and frisk and dealing with marijuana laws, whether you agree with marijuana laws or not, that may have stopped this thing. So that's what he was saying. He was blaming Bill de Blasio and the liberals for being lax on the laws. He wasn't blaming, he was quite kind toward the girl or the young woman throughout this whole thing. He wasn't trying to smear her. At least not I heard him on the radio saying it, and this was the basis for the outcry, the big controversy. So I don't agree with you that it was just to smear this young woman from Charlottesville, Virginia.
Well, let me be more specific.
And he's a police union guy, so he said, this is what I'm hearing. And so it may well be a gossip rumor thing, false, who knows? But I don't think that it's... And you look at the people who are backlashing against it. Bill de Blasio, who's a socialist, and the family who, from what I hear, one of them is, I think you're the one who told me, is a liberal professor, or a professor anyways.
Well, the police chief who made those comments originally, he came out the following day, I believe, to kind of correct what he said, to say essentially what you said, that he wasn't trying to say anything bad about the girl for smoking weed.
Right.
That he was really trying to imply that there's more crime in the city because they're no longer doing stop and frisk, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
However, the media that keeps on pushing the story of, she was out there trying to score weed from drug dealers. There's no proof of that.
Oh, I didn't hear the media saying that, but
well, it's all over. You got to read the headlines. The New York Post, the New York Times, all that.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard more of them trying to defend her and stuff. And
yeah, and the father came out and he's saying, "What are you saying? There's no proof of that. My daughter doesn't smoke weed." And all this
but
stuff.
the proof hasn't even come out. They haven't really released a lot of details yet. So I don't know. Anyways, Tony, appreciate it. Good to hear from you. We'll talk
all right,
again.
James, take care.
All right. Let me get to Matt, first-time caller out of Pennsylvania. Matt, what's up?
James Hake, what's up, brother?
Not much.
Hey, I just had a quick question for you. It's, Jesse's always talking about children of the lie, and I just wanted to know, what exactly is the lie? Is it being your own God?
All lies. Yeah, that's one of them. You should ask Jesse about that, though.
Yeah, I should. You know what? I'm in a different time zone. I called in real quick before.
PA. We're on. Jesse is on 9 to noon, and then I'm on from noon to 1.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you have a good head of hair, brother.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you. Good luck.
Hey, thanks a lot. Take it easy.
All right. Louie out of Idaho. What's up, Louie? Thank you for holding.
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey.
I'm just calling about the citizenship issue.
Yeah.
I worked overseas for 9 years, and I had one guy who scheduled his leave to have his baby in the United States. And he bragged about it, and I was so upset. I was pissed.
I remember you told me that yesterday that you had was this a friend or an associate, a coworker?
Associate. He was we worked for the same place.
And he scheduled his visit to the United States, which he was doing for work, you say?
Yeah, just for work.
So he brought his wife?
Go to a meeting so his wife could have his baby. And he could wait 18 years and be a citizen. That pisses me off.
Yeah, this problem is widespread. The Russians are doing it. The Chinese are doing it.
It happens all the time.
Illegal aliens are doing it. It's evil. And the illegal aliens, the so-called refugees, are bringing children. In some cases, they're just buying children in order to come here because they know that the stupid, soft liberals establishment in charge of running the country is letting them in more lenient on the people who are bringing children. And it's evil.
They just take from everything.
Yep.
Social Security, benefits, food stamps, everything.
Yep.
Billions.
And so they have these, show the pictures again, show the advertisements. These Chinese advertisements saying, oh, have your, no, the baby ones. Yeah. Showing that be a pregnant woman over here. Spend 3 months in a luxury house and then have your baby. And then it's American, and then you can come here and buy up our land with cash. And meanwhile, everybody else suffers. Yeah, I appreciate it, Louie.
This guy just pissed me off, and I don't even know if he's in. He might be a citizen right now because of his issue. It's been decades already, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's abuse,
anyway,
man. All right, take care.
Take care, bye.
All right. Blaze Z says, you're lying that Jesus says nothing about gays. I was mocking the liberals, man. I wasn't saying that Jesus said nothing about gays. Bill Lockwood points out that Jesus said all porneia being the whole gamut of the sexual stuff is still, from the Old Testament, is still wrong. So that's like some original language intellectual stuff. But anyways, let me get to Rick out of Hampton, Virginia. Rick, what's up?
Afternoon, my brother James. What's going on? The Hake report. La, la, la.
30 seconds, Rick. Get it off.
Man, I gotta spit it out, man. Those kids those black kids that beat up that white kid, I tell you, if that was me, either the parents would be in jail or the kids would be in juvenile.
Yeah.
And that's for the death penalty. The death penalty should be there. Now, if someone, kills somebody, a child without evidence, I'm for the death penalty.
You're not for the death penalty for those kids that beat up the white kid, though, right?
No.
Okay, just clarifying. You made Joel laugh.
Yeah.
You shocked him.
I'm just saying, well, you were talking about the death penalty a little bit, and I'm just trying to comment on that. Now, I'm for the death penalty as long as there's no shadow of a doubt evidence that he done it, like a videotape that he killed somebody.
Yeah.
I'm for the death penalty. It's funny how when somebody go kill somebody, they don't think of the lives they killed, but when their life is required, now they screaming, talking about how much they love their kids and stuff. Like, I don't want to hear that, man.
Yep, I agree, man. Appreciate you, Rick. Thank you.
No problem, James. Love y'all. God bless y'all, brother.